Hey guys, this is Nick, and I'm going to look at Nikola's earnings reports today. And you see the headline says Nikola's losses narrow. Startup says GM talks continue. So great news, right? At least that's what it says in the headline. But let's dig a little deeper and see that this news is mostly BS. And so if you need some more reasons not to buy Nikola stock, watch this video. So that headline said that Nikola's losses narrowed, but here it says it lost $117 million or 31 cents a share for the quarter, compared with 15 million or 6 cents a share for the third quarter of 2019. Now, I don't know about you, maybe this is some new math or something, but $117 million loss is way more than $15 million loss. So how exactly did their losses narrow? By magic, really, because their losses narrowed only because what analysts expected their losses to be. So if an analyst says, well, we expect Nikola to lose $120 million for the quarter, and then Nikola only loses 117 million, then voila, it's magic. Their losses narrowed, but they still lost 117 million versus 15 million from the same period last year. So this narrowed loss means nothing. It's 117 million dollars they have to pay out that they have no revenue against. Now, here in this article, they say that in the third quarter, Nikola made significant progress on key milestones, the CEO Mark Russell said. We delivered on our commitment to assemble the first Nikola Tre BEV prototypes and continue to work with customers on prospective and previously announced BEV truck orders, blah, blah, blah. All this great stuff, right? But if people aren't familiar with Nikola exactly, I'm going to fill you in a little bit. Let's just look here at their loss from operations, 117 million. So not that great, right? But most people say, well, it's a new company, they're losing money because they're growing quickly and all this stuff. But let's take a look down here at what their actual revenue is. Okay, so quarter ended September 30th, 2020, solar revenue zero. Cost of solar revenue zero. And why is it saying solar revenues here? Because that's the only revenue they've ever had in their whole existence as a company. And so they're comparing it to 2019 when their only revenue was putting solar panels on the CEO's house and charging him for it and calling that revenue, because they would look too bad to try to go public or do their SPAC when they had actual zero revenue. So they put a little bit of revenue, a few $1,000s of revenue of installing solar panels on Trevor Milton's house and calling that revenue. Well, that deal is done, and now we're in 2020 and they have zero revenue and just losses every quarter. So you see that their research and development is 51 million. Their SGA is 65 million, so a loss of 117 million. So if you're not familiar with what this company does, it basically is a marketing company using other people's products to build products and hype it up, saying that they're gonna make some kind of hydrogen truck, battery electric truck, and the Badger SUV type truck, pickup truck with GM partnership, which is now on shaky grounds. To add insult to injury, it's been announced that Nikola also received subpoenas from the SEC for 5 of its officers, and Trevor Milton himself also received a subpoena from the Southern District of New York on September 19th. So that is not good, obviously, but that in and of itself is not the reason not to buy this stock. The reason not to buy this stock is because they basically do nothing. You see, all this progress that the CEO, Mark Russell, talks about is basically progress that other companies are creating for them using their technology, not Nikola's technology. So the BEV Tre truck in Ulm, Germany is being done by Iveco. They have a partnership with Bosch for a battery electric truck, and their so-called Badger pickup truck with GM, using all of GM's technology, and they don't even use their own pickup truck design. They farm that out to somebody else, just the image of it. That deal is up in the air, and you see that even today, the CEO, Mark Russell, again, acknowledged that the deal, if it doesn't go through, they're going to have to go it alone. So on November 9th, the article says electric truck startup Nikola says talks with GM are ongoing, as if that's a positive thing, and the deadline is like December for them to either do the deal or break it off. But here the next day, November 10th, the Nikola CEO says, we are prepared to go to market alone if we have to without General Motors. So what would that mean for Nikola if the GM deal fell through? Well, they have a supposed base plan that they had before the GM discussions, and here they say, we have a fuel cell program that we've been working on with Bosch for a number of years. In other words, Bosch is doing it for them. We obviously have a battery program. I don't know if it's obvious to anybody what they have, because if they do have a battery program, why are they using GM's Ultium battery and Bosch's technology for batteries and all of that stuff? So that's not obvious to me. So what would that mean if the GM deal fell through? Well, they have their so-called base plan that they had before the GM discussions. And here they say, we have a fuel cell program we've been working on with Bosch for a number of years. We obviously have a battery program. We're going into production with our own battery cell electric vehicles. That would be our base plan. We would love to have access to GM's Ultium battery, blah, blah, blah. And here it says, the go-it-alone plan for Nikola likely means no Badger pickup truck and a clear focus on making battery and hydrogen-powered Class 8 trucks. It could also mean a capital raise sometime in 2021, as the pre-revenue, which is a fancy word for zero revenue, Nikola burns through cash to build out its truck manufacturing capabilities. So there you have it. I mean, if the GM deal falls through, there is no Badger truck, and they're relying on Bosch and Iveco for their technology to do their truck program. So Nikola really has no technology other than the technology that they buy from other companies like Bosch, Iveco, and GM. And what's funny here is, let's take a look. We obviously have a battery program. We're going into production with our own battery electric vehicles. Okay, so they have a battery program. Let's see what their research and development is for, say, the last year or so. Their research and development for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020 is 51 million. And for the 9 months ended September 30 in 2020, so up to the whole 9 months of 2020, their research and development is $118 million. So think about that for a minute. $118 million on their total research and development, where you have companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Toyota, GM, all of these big, Volkswagen, all of these big, deep-pocketed players that have billions of dollars that they are putting into R&D and have 100 years of experience in building cars. And somehow Nikola, with its puny $118 million in R&D, is going to run circles around these guys? Not likely. So don't believe in the hype that Nikola is going to do something. All they're doing is slapping their badge on somebody else's product. And you all know that there's no way that they're going to make big profits doing that, using somebody else's product and technology and just licensing it from them. And if you want to see the value of what these analysts think about Nikola, or any stock for that matter, you see that they're just really cheerleaders for these stocks by saying that their earnings beat expectations and all this stuff. And look at the price targets of the so-called analysts for Nikola stock. Here at the top at $80, there was one buy and one hold, according to this website, TipRanks. But now here, back at $15 or whatever, there's two buys, two holds, and one sell. So yeah, if you followed them, you'd be buying at the top and continue to buy all the way to the bottom. So don't listen to what they say. Look at the company itself, and you see that it's just smoke and mirrors, and they don't actually have a product, and they don't actually have any technology. They're just buying it off the shelf from other companies, slapping their name on it. And then the biggest product that they sell next to the solar panels for the CEO's house is stock to people like you and me who believe the dream that this is going to be the next Tesla or something like that. And so they have 900 million in cash right now, and they could burn through another probably 6 or 7 quarters doing this kind of thing. But be aware there's going to be another capital raise to dilute your shares. And the shares are already pretty much diluted from its high after all this fraud reports came out from Hindenburg Research. So don't believe the headlines, and please, if you don't want to lose money, stay away from this stock. It's all smoke and mirrors. They don't have a product. Go for a company that has a real product and actual revenue, not just the solar panels on the CEO's house. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.